dawn of Republican leadership. With President Trump and J.D. Vance in the White House, that is an American agenda. An agenda that says we are pro-immigration, but not pro-invasion. We're going to make certain that the people who come to this country are invited here like I was, like my family was, on our terms.
And that's Ohio Senator-elect and Colombian immigrant Bernie Moreno touting Republicans' immigration policy after defeating incumbent Senator Sherrod Brown, who's held political office for nearly 40 years. President-elect Trump winning over 41% of the Latino vote nationally. Trump seeing similar results in Ohio, where he won 42% of the Latino vote, including 47% of Latino men. Some in the media now are going after, get this, Latino voters. Watch this.
Yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men.
We've got to be honest. Among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny. And I think that we've got to deal with the reality that he appealed to this whole false macho thing that some black men and some Latino men went for.
Wow, just wow. Joining me now is Ohio Senator-elect Bernie Moreno. Bernie, congratulations to you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. You just heard all about the misogyny. Look, misogyny can't buy you a loaf of bread and eggs. What do you make of this commentary out of the media about the support that Republicans received this election?
You mean having white woke liberals like Joe Scarborough lecture Latino men? That won't go well for them. Look, you said it right, Maria. What the Hispanics want is what every demographic group wants in America. They want to be able to live an American dream. And that means be able to have basic necessities not be unaffordable, be able to afford a home, afford a car, be able to not have 3 jobs in order to make ends meet, be able to raise a family, and be able to have a society in which women are protected from having men in sports and not having conversations about giving gender-affirming care, whatever that means, to children, because that's just nuts. So these are the things that Hispanics care about. And I'll say one more thing. We left countries where government was overbearing. We saw countries getting taken over by socialist ideology. That's why we came here. We didn't come here to bring that ideology here. We came here to get away from that kind of ideology. And you're going to see the Hispanic community in this country go overwhelmingly Republican in the next cycle.
How have the Democrats been able to do this, to spread all of this misinformation about the policies that are quite clear to all of us? You know, wide open border and the effects of unvetted individuals coming here and then committing murder and robbery and the rest, or, you know, spending on things that the majority of the country doesn't want done, like this, you know, a lot of the elements of the climate change agenda. And yet you've got people like those 2 people on MSNBC talking as if this is a bad thing. How did the Democrats successfully, you know, brainwash so many people about these destructive policies?
Well, I mean, I think when President Trump ran for office for the first time in 2015, and he called it what it was, which is you can't have a country without a sovereign border, the Democrats and the media allies pounced on that and said anybody who thinks that doesn't like immigrants generally. I mean, the Cleveland Plain Dealer for the longest time said that I was a South American hating immigrant. Right. And I said, well, maybe there's a couple of my cousins that I'm not super thrilled with, but generally speaking, I don't dislike South Americans or immigrants.
Yeah.
And I think the narrative has just been shattered. I think people see what they've seen over the last 4 years: high prices, open borders lead to more crime, higher prices, less housing opportunities. So, look, we want what every other American demographic wants. We want a shot at the American dream. We don't want a handout. We just want equal opportunity.
Yeah, and I guess in some ways, Democrat politicians have been able to blur the lines between legal immigration and illegal immigration. I mean, President Trump has talked a lot. He told me in my last interview with him, of course we want legal immigration. We want a diverse community. We want a diverse population, but we just can't have the the illegal immigration. We can't have people coming in who are unvetted and end up being on the terrorist watch list. Working class voters who typically vote Democrats moving to the right now with this election, with many of them supporting Donald Trump. Even Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders slammed the Democrat Party with Trump's massive red wave. He wrote this statement yesterday. It should come as no surprise, no great surprise, that a Democrat Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them. Senator-elect, your thoughts on that? Because the policy seems to have abandoned most people. We are talking with Bernie Moreno after his incredible win in Ohio, and we want to get his take on a lot of the issues. We're going to, do we have him yet? Do we have him back yet? No, we're going to take a short break and come right back with Bernie Moreno. Stay with us.